What about Joe Flacco, who always seems to have the Browns number?
Really have a lot of respect for him. And again, he falls into, I don't want to always be same as when I come in here, but he's a vet. And not only is he a vet, he's a vet with a good defense in practice all the time and a multiple schematic defense. So we've got to do a good job of how we go about playing and doing things from a technical standpoint of rules, assignments. They give you a lot of different things. I've known their coordinators for a long time as far as all the other stops they've had, and me too, with Marty and Greg Roman and all those guys on the things they do from a passing game wise and a run game wise. We have a lot of respect. They have our respect as a staff. They have our respect, as players to see the different things they do. And then obviously Joe has really had a very good first quarter of the year on getting back into his deep ball presence. And, he's always wanted to force that a lot there anyway, even when it wasn't there, but it has been there. John Brown, I've known John Brown quite a bit, was in the same division with John when he was at the Cardinals and I was at the Rams. So I've had quite a bit of in-game experience with him. I smile on my face. I probably shouldn't say this because I'll get another text when I get upstairs, but his offensive coordinator in college was one of my roommates in college, so he blisters me every time I get ready to play against him about all the things he's going to do against us. So, but John and Joe did a really good job, especially last week, but have all year long. So Joe's playing with confidence, and they're allowing him to have say in the offense too. There's a lot of audible systems going on, and so you do that with a veteran quarterback. You give him say, and he's done well.
They're a group of tight ends, and I think they get another one back this week. Seems like they're making a bunch of plays. How big of a challenge is that for you, especially coming off the game that Cook had?
I would tell you this, and I don't particularly take a look at all the different rankings, but I would have a hard time saying that there is a tight end group, a group of tight ends much better than that group, from a legitimate tight end presence on blocking on the line of scrimmage, and then a legitimate presence in the passing game, and a confidence level that they have with the quarterback, and you can see the quarterback believes in them in throwing the ball to them. So yeah, it's a challenge, it's a matchup, and we got some things last week we had to clean up, and we've done a pretty good job in matchups like that before, and we've got to take some of the corrections from last week and transfer it into this game because there is some similarities, and that's a good thought that you have right there.
How about all the yards last week? How do you count for?
I don't know if you guys heard that Kirksey couldn't practice today because he's sick, so those yards made me sick too, so I'm done. No, those things there are the big play things. Yeah, that's just not who we are, and got to battle through those things. They're a talented team, and you could see, how we stuff it, and then a big one, and you play that many plays, and 5/8, 3/4. The plays are just dominant, stuffed-up plays, but a few of the plays that go big are the plays that are meaningful in the game, and we have to understand that when changes in lineups and changes in scheme needs because of a different guy happen to play or a couple of different guys happen to play positions, that still means that don't give up deep balls and don't give up long runs.
How much does your history with E.J. Gaines, kind of help?
It does help. It does help. It does speed the process up. And then from his standpoint, when you're down for a while, it takes a while for you to also speed up the process of how fast you trigger in a game. Trigger meaning how fast you make a decision to do what you're supposed to do in the game. And he's coming back from that pretty good. And then the in-game experience was even more. Then, going into the game, we were going to do a lot of rotations anyway. Going into the game plan was that way. He just had to play more when Mitch got hurt. But he was going to play quite a bit in the game anyway. So it does help, especially as we transition into this week and the plans. He's been around, and he knows our verbiage, and he knows what I want.
Playing the best ball of his career.
He was playing, I don't know, ask him, my personal opinion, yes. And I take that personal. And, you know, one of the reasons we wanted him here, and John Dorsey knew him so well, and then I trust John Dorsey so much, and that, yes, and, you know, Mitch would, you know, talk my head off and about different things, that telling me how he felt about things. He had confidence to talk to me about what he felt he could and couldn't do. And so I shied away from some of those things, but I thought he was playing very well. And he'll be back. He'll bounce back from it.
We asked you a lot last year about Jabril. Four games into this season with the change that was made with him this year, are you getting what you want or need out of him yet?
Yes, and I think he's doing so many things down around the ball that are productive for himself, and then how he understands to push the ball or leverage the ball to the nearest teammate. He has a very good feel down there. And he and DK, Derek Kindred, both are solid as all get out in those things down there. And then the other thing is that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't taken a look at all the statistical things when they hand up the playtime stuff. Jabril and DK have to be playing the most number of plays anybody on our team right now, special teams and defense. I mean, they're playing a ton of plays. So that is our philosophy as a defensive staff, to rotate them so that we don't weaken the special teams. They have to be primary in those areas, and that we'll package and rotate guys in and out. And they are such good friends, and they understand that we're doing it for a reason. There's no selfishness there at all. He's very relaxed when he's down in there. Would like to have a couple more protection beaters where he's blitzing. But one of the things that I blitz him quite a bit, but they know he's down there and they're sliding to protections. And what he's done is freed up 2 or 3 people on free rushes because they're afraid of him. And that is productive. The other thing we have is that we have, with his experience, he and Body both, but their experience of playing down in the box and back to the post, we have scheme things where he also goes back there when needed, because he has time on task now back there. So yeah, I really do think he's doing well. And like me, like all of them, you're never satisfied until it's perfect. And he'll push himself. And you know, I love the fact that I've got to wrap my arm around him every once in a while, because I'm on his ass quite a bit. There you go, on him pretty good several times anyway. But you know, he's very demanding of himself, and I love that. I really do.
Follow up on that. Is he just kind of playing a spot where the statistics just doesn't do what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't even know. I really don't pay attention much to those individual statistics part of it. It's more of a team thing. But he's doing what we ask him to do, and he's forcing a lot of issues. And the other thing, he's as good as anybody I've ever coached in communication. He gets other people lined up and communicated as well as anybody. And he and Joe Schobert are very, very good at that. But when you do that, you don't let your own play decline. And he hasn't. He hasn't.
You talked about the need to finish. Obviously, you're up 14 and then up 8. And one of your players said we said to leave no doubt. How do you cross that? Like, how do you
say that again?
One of your players said we have to just leave no doubt. Don't leave it up to the officials. Don't leave it up to whatever.
Good. That means they must be listening to me, so that's good.
Well, how do you get over the hump and make that extra play in the fourth quarter that ends it?
You keep fighting it, you keep pushing it, and when it happens, then again you point towards that. But you keep fighting it, you keep pushing it, and that, you know, in a game, we don't see how many times we do it in practice. We don't see how many times we do it in a meeting. We don't see how many times we do it in an argument. Competition is competition, whether it's wherever it's at. So how do you finish a competition? You finish a competition in a winning platform, in a winning way. And that, boom, we've got to go ahead and get that done in a game so it breeds confidence. And then confidence that you know that you can do it causes you and allows you to pull the trigger even faster, okay? From a defensive standpoint, I feel like their confidence is strong. We just have to produce.
The scoring drive Oakland had when they were down 8 with the 2-point, do you give them credit for making good plays, or were there problems on your end?
I will tell you this, is that we had a couple of leverage, the alignment was correct, but leverage problems. And but they had a good drive, and they've got very good playmaking people. And John and I go way back. We didn't talk after the game, but that's just we'll talk this next summer or something. I know, but they had a really good drive. Okay, and we got to finish. And in practice situations, game situations, we've been pretty good at that anywhere I've ever been, and that right there has caused a very good concentration level in practice on where we had to finish in practice. And this week, even today, it was probably frustrating offensively of how we handled that. We likened the situation today in practice to that, and I think our guys felt pretty good about how they handled it.
Done any more on the 2-point conversion?
Say it again.
Was there anything more? I think it was Carey was on Nelson.
Oh, yeah, and then on those things right there, when you look at it, is that they got matchups all the way across the board, and what we were doing is that we were playing over there to the bunch side, a multiple type thing there, and that's a one-on-one no matter what you play. You can play zone, you can play man, you can play whatever, and now it goes about finishing. To tell you the truth on that is that most of our guys have done a very good job. That's a real good positive thing. I think Dwayne Walker's done a very good job as a corner coach here. And I laugh and I smile when I give Denzel Ward some credit, is that Denzel's the best, one of the best I've ever had a chance to coach on that particular play like that, on how you separate the ball from the man at the end. And we've been really, really good on that in practice. And Denzel could naturally come in and do that and paint the picture for our guys. We hadn't had enough of it on film here, and I couldn't find some of the stuff on film here a year ago of us doing that. And we've been regularly doing that play in practice every day. It frustrates our offense on how good we're at doing that, and we didn't finish it. And Carey's had a bunch of really good ones where he has done it, and I jokingly give Denzel the credit for the emulation that he has kind of helped us picture for those guys. We got to make that play. And again, it comes down to when you see that specific, that's an earned play, perfect throw, perfect catch. So now the only way you have the chance to handle that perfect throw, perfect catch is separate on the way down. You have to separate the ball on the way down, and we just didn't.
It looked like Miles came real close a bunch of times at the end. Is there something more he could have done?
No. And we have used that this week and that day, once we watched the film on, we had a couple of things in coverage on at the end that the ball was supposed to be held a fraction longer. And we made 2 alignment errors on 2 of those plays that Miles is putting him down. And that's why rush and coverage work hand in hand. It's very hard to do any more than Miles did on both of those plays. Excuse me, but the coverage part of it, one was alignment, and one was just a technique thing that we don't let that happen. Okay, and it caused a potential big play for us not to happen.
I know you used him a little bit there already. Could you use Randall more at corner?
Yeah, we have. We flipped him down a bunch more, and yes. And the big thing there, that too, is I have to be cognizant and not be a total jerk on he's battling through injury, and I got to watch how that all goes. He's battling through it, and not going to throw him to the wolves, unless he can handle that. But I have no problem, have no hesitation when he's healthy playing there, none.
You say about the fact that he's been battling through it on one foot.
I think that's good. You guess what? You're supposed to. You can only imagine my conversations with him. I really like him a lot. I got a great personality. He's a competitor. But if you're looking for sympathy from me, you ain't getting none. Okay? That's what a professional football player does. By the way, I don't know, I got my leg cut off in the off season and got a titanium knee now. I was back to work the second day. I was supposed to stay off a month. That's what you're supposed to do.